Thanks for joining us. This is Rick Bosley, General Manager for the Melbourne and Space Coast offices, here with our new partner, Elizabeth Cassidy with Edge Home Loans. Excited for our partnership today. Really introducing you to our agents in our
Yeah.
office. Thanks for joining us. This is
Thank you for
intended to
having me.
be you're welcome, a profile piece. Get to know you. Obviously, a lot of our agents in the office already know you. You're already one of the top performing brokers and loan officers doing deals with top performing agents. You were highly referred by this. So
Awesome.
happy that we were able to get together and now you and I can grow a partnership.
Yes.
So I want this segment here to really learn a little bit about where you came from, where you're at, where you like to go, and what this alignment looks like, not only from loan officer to office, but also as you develop and really create of more of the agents.
Yes, absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about your history of how you got into loans.
Yes. So originally, I was a real estate agent with Keller Williams,
Good
surprisingly.
choice.
Out in the Phoenix market. I loved it. The sales part of it was fun. The negotiations was fun, but I was a terrible realtor. It was awful, and my team leads told me that so nicely. I was the person that would point out all the flaws in houses. They were like, Elizabeth, you're great with people. You're great negotiating. Just keep shut when you're showing houses. I think you would convert better. I couldn't
You
nail
couldn't
that
detach
together.
from you. You're just like, you're not living in this house. They
Yes,
are.
I
Let
was
them
like,
have
this
their own
is
opinion.
ugly. You don't want this. So yeah, I was always kind of flocked over. I had a math background. I was a math teacher prior to doing all of that. So I had always kind of flocked and pushed over to the mortgage side and was very interested in what they were doing. So we moved out here 6 years ago, and I decided to very abruptly turn off my real estate license and get my mortgage one turned on. And
So
the
leaving
rest is history.
Arizona, coming to Florida, that's when you said, okay, now's the time to switch.
Yes.
I want to do a caveat because when we had our conversation, a few weeks back, you also said you were terrible at real estate, but then you shared your numbers and your numbers didn't translate to being terrible at real estate. You actually were quite successful in real
Yeah,
estate.
from what I was told, I was decent. I think I sold, on average 1, 2 houses a month,
Yeah,
which like it from what I've learned now with being in mortgage for as long as I have been, that's actually pretty good. Those are pretty good numbers.
yeah,
I was out near Luke Air Force Base, and so there was a lot of military with my background and my husband also being military. That was just kind of like a natural group of clientele that
yep,
would come to me.
yep.
So it was fun. It was really good taking care of military. I knew I wanted to kind of stay aligned to that to some degree. You never want to pigeonhole yourself into just one distinct item, but certainly having a niche where you thrive and you are the expert in was important to me.
Sure. Well, and so I wanted to share that because in your
Mhm.
words, I was terrible at real estate, and in our world, you're selling 18. So a little bit of humility there as you get this, but
Yeah.
you also know what her standard is of successful or not. So I think the mortgage industry is grateful that you decided to make the switch. I want to back up even further
Yep.
because you already touched on military
Mhm.
and looking at some of your passion here. You're still very passionate about military,
Yes.
and you served, and you said your husband served. So talk to
Yes.
us a little bit about your military background.
I was 18, fresh out of high school, and was watching a video with my dad on 60 Minutes on females specifically in basic training. And I looked at him and I was like, that looks really cool. And he goes, you could never do that. I'm the kind of person, I've learned this about my personality, is that when someone tells me I can't do something, I will absolutely do it purely out of spite. Like when an underwriter tells me, oh, you can't close this loan anywhere, watch, I will. I absolutely will.
Right.
It'll be above board ethical. So taking it back 15 years ago to when I did that when I was sitting on my parents' couch, I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to do that. I had no idea what it was entailed. I didn't have this big political like hoorah about myself, where I had a vision bigger than myself. I purely did it to spite my parents because they said I
Because
couldn't.
you could.
Uh-huh.
If you would have described that without saying military, that I saw a commercial, I said that looks fun. My dad said I couldn't do it, and I would have guessed like Tough Mudder.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
running a
Yeah.
marathon, something you train for, and then you're
Doing
done.
the Iron Man.
I mean, this is a big commitment.
It was. It was. It very much was.
So, what branch were you in?
Air Force.
Okay,
Yep.
and so tell us about was that basic training? Did you start like
Yeah, basic
what was
training,
that?
one assignment. I was in and out the door. I was
Okay,
not a lifer. My husband is still in the military. Thank you for his service and
yep,
all of the people that are doing it for
yep,
their whole career. But some people know this about me. I don't do well with people telling me what to do. So being in the military, they were like, we're going to tell you what to do every day. I was like, yeah, this is not going to be the vibe.
Or stripes on your shoulder to
So
be able to
I
stay
did.
in there.
I absolutely did.
Okay.
And I was very humbled very quickly. But no, having me and my husband met we both were in the military, having two babies and him being whisked away to Afghanistan, it really resets priorities. So I separated from the military. He continued on. And you always kind of feel a little bit of like a gut punch in you when you do that. That, oh, I should have stayed. What ifs? All of those kind of conversations flood through your mind. So pivoting and really focusing on serving military
Mhm.
through something that they don't necessarily want to focus all of their time on, buying a house, moving, especially when you don't get to pick where you're going, is always not a fun experience for people. So I had lived that life, being assigned to places we didn't particularly like. So yeah, aligning real estate and then mortgage for mostly military.
Did you move to Florida because of military?
No, actually, my husband picked up a job with L3 Harris.
Okay.
So he went into the reserves. So he still does a little bit of assignments overseas here and there, but he picked up a job with L3 Harris.
Got it.
And we came out here and I very distinctly told him, if you come to me and say we have an opportunity to move anywhere else after we settle in Florida, you will go by yourself because I am done moving across state lines.
This is home.
Yes, this is home. My parents followed suit. They moved out here, so we've been blessed with two more babies since living out here and built what I hope is our forever house. So we are
Congratulations.
settled. Thank you.
So 2 in Arizona, 2 in Florida, so 4 babies.
Yep, 4 babies.
And so
yep. One's about to be driving. Oh,
I was going to ask a little bit of how life is showing up there because leading and running a business, which we'll get to,
yes,
while also raising a household of 6, you, a husband, and four kiddos. How do you balance that?
I don't. Like people say, oh, there's such a work-life balance. I don't believe that there's ever a true like even Steven balance.
Mm-hmm.
I think when work is demanding of work, like I tell my community, like y'all got it. Keep them alive, but work really needs me right now and this is our family's future. So I really bend really heavy into work and then when it's family time, I tell my team that, hey, I really have to pivot. I need family moments right now and so you just kind of ebb and flow with it. I think the people that are constantly searching for like the perfect even 50-50 balance when it comes to work-life balance, they're always going to be mediocre performers. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I really strive to be a high performer. So I can very much compartmentalize on I'm only focusing on this right now.
Yeah.
And still showing up for the little moments as mom, dinner time, bedtime. I do make it a point to cook for my family almost every night. It's just something that I really like doing. So sometimes that's crock pot. Sometimes that's a full blown home cooked meal. Sometimes we're eating in the car because we're off to sports practice. But I do try to be present for dinner time. Yes.
Those little things over time are the big, probably like any.
Yes.
It's picking up the phone consistently, daily is what culminates.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
There's a book called The One Thing. Gary Keller wrote The One Thing. You nodded, so you've read it.
I read it when I was was it my first year out here in Phoenix? Or out in Arizona or Florida? I believe so, yeah. It was like four-ish years ago I read it. He wrote it a while ago.
He wrote it back in probably 15, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He talks about myths, and this is a productivity book. One of the myths is, and you just described it, whether you knew you were quoting that book or not. But he says it's actually counter. And everything about balancing, it's ballerina. They're constantly balancing, but degree left, 1 degree left, 1 degree right. Like, and I don't know about you, but he's like, it's impossible to be 1 degree. So he calls it counterbalance. So his visual isn't balancing down a straight line. It's be personal, be.
Yes.
Shut the laptop, turn off the phone, and vacation, be at the ball field.
Yep.
And then when you're at work, go to work and take care of it and stop work in the middle of it to go handle stuff. So counterbalancing is that high achiever stuff. You did it, whether it's because of the book or whether it was just a thought.
Yes.
But as you said that, I'm like, well, this is the One Thing book.
Yeah. We took a vacation over summer to Anna Maria Island, and the first 3 days I didn't pull my laptop out. I felt so weird.
How
I
did
was
your
like,
family feel?
I mean, they loved it, but they also, we were on the beach, we were walking from the beach house. We were it's such a chill, no agenda kind of a vacation. And the phone was still with me because in this day and age, you can't go anywhere with the phone. And the phone, I guess, does most things that the computer to do, but actually pulling out the physical laptop
A little
not
bit
happening for
liberating.
3 days, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome." And thankfully, when you do go to open it, like things the team's got it. I was like, "This is awesome."
Which one to get the team? I
Yeah.
want to talk a little more about military
Yep.
because you've kept that niche. You
Yes.
stayed that
Yes.
focused. You're the leading VA specialist in Florida. You're
Yes.
closing over 200 VA
Over
annually.
100 VA loans, over 200 loans
Got it.
annually,
Okay.
100 VA or more.
So 50
100 is always my goal.
so 50% of your business is VA
Yes.
still.
Yes.
What should agents know or even consumers out there know that really is important to have a partner who understands VA? What are some of the stuff that may not be for
In my experience, and this is not a dig at individuals or entities, although if people know me on a personal level, they will know where I'm going with this. Um, the VA loan is not scary if you're educated. If you are aligning or your consumers are working with a lender who is trying to steer them away from it, that's a red flag that they're not educated.
Okay.
It's the easiest loan product out there once you understand what you're doing. There's 2 additional pieces of paperwork. My big motto, and I'm going to pull the curse words out of it, but my big motto that I tell people, and when I speak on stage about this, is explain to me why a veteran was good enough to potentially die for you, but they're not good enough to buy your house. Like, it's our duty, in my opinion,
Right.
to make sure that we're at the very least presenting them with the option. Now, not all veterans are going to pick it for a variety of reasons, and there are some stipulations around it that they can't pick it. But as mortgage professionals, it's our option. It's our duty to give them the option and tell them these are the choices. This is what you've earned. Not everyone has earned this. I think this is something that I noticed when I came out to Brevard County is that it was just very scarce. It wasn't talked about a ton. It wasn't something that people were super gung ho about. So I really took that as a challenge of like, well, if
What
anyone's
you
gonna
took on a
get
challenge?
if anyone's gonna get vocal, like count on the sassy girl to get a
Right.
little bit vocal about
Right.
something. So I started off a little aggressive, I'm not gonna lie, and then I started to learn that like agents aren't saying no to this loan type maliciously. They just don't know what
Right.
they don't know. So then I kind of backpedaled a little bit and I was like, well, let me educate you. I'll educate you first. And then if you still want to argue and say no because you think it's subpar or it's beneath you, then we'll have a different set of words that might not be, appropriate for
For
a
this
podcast.
podcast,
Yeah, no.
anyway.
No, but the first step I was always like, okay, let's educate and really lean in. FHA conventional, all of the non-QM products, those are easy for me and my team because VA does take a different level of education and understanding.
Yep.
So it's something that if my business one day turned into 100% VA loans and I was closing 200 to 400 veterans a year, I'd be the happiest, most blessed human in the world. But I also know that there's a good group of agents. They just don't get that opportunity all that often. I'm going to be here for their business partner nonetheless.
I'm going to set you up.
Yeah.
I bet you can't do that.
That I can't do it.
Close 2 to 4.
My business coach last week challenged me to do the same thing.
I did that on
He
purpose
was
just
like,
because you can't turn down a challenge.
Elizabeth, game on. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well then I guess
it's happening.
I should get some more systems and processes
guess
put
it's
in place
happening,
to make it happen.
Which let's let that partnership be flourishing for both.
It will,
Talk to me
absolutely.
about your team you're with.
Yeah.
Broker with
Hi,
Edge Home Loans.
team.
Well, not to them. How
Yeah.
about them?
Hopefully they watch this. I share lots of reels and podcasts with them, and they normally watch the funny ones and then use it to make jokes at me. So we'll see if they watch
So we've got to create some comedic relief.
We'll see if they watch the
blooper reel at the end.
the good ones. Yeah.
Help me understand. Help our
Yep.
consumers understand, our audience. Broker versus retail, and why you
Yep.
chose broker.
Broker gives you a little bit more flexibility. I was retail, and this is not a dig on retail. There's some of my dearest friends in this industry are retail loan officers. Retail really put restrictions around me specifically with wanting to lean into VA loans. It was just the challenges of elevated costs, things of that nature that sometimes don't always serve veterans in the best way. By no means are they like taking advantage and, destroying people and raking them through the coals. But there are certain nuances with VA loans that you have to be very, very cognizant of the cost that lenders are charging them. So pivoting over to broker really allowed me to alleviate all of those pieces and truly give the best mortgage product. Between my background, I did have a little bit of a background being a retail lender. And then moving into the broker space, like I could cut out all of the noise and all of I could trim the fat, if you would.
Sure.
When it came to the loan documents and the loan cost, really what it comes down to, because nobody's in this business for free. You're here to make money. I'm here to make money. So pivoting over to broker, number one, it opened up a lot of different boxes for unique loan structures. I've been able to close some loans here with other agents here at KW, and they were unique things that a lot of retail loan officers around town said no to. And I have caveats to them to where I can say yes to them, which feels really good.
Very cool.
Um, so yeah,
So a little
that's,
more freedom there, and then you've got your team. And when I was learning about your team,
yeah.
all of them you hired 4 years ago, came to Florida 6 years
Yep.
ago.
We aligned at in some capacity 4 years ago.
What I
Yeah.
love about that is it's a testament to your leadership, to your organization. It's not turn and
I
burn, right?
hope.
You're not bringing in people every 6 months. You have stability, you have
Mm-hmm.
structure. Real briefly, you've got David, who's your loan partner. He
Yep.
started off as a
He
processor.
started off as my processor. I had burned through quite a few processors who just weren't a fit for me. I demand excellence and I demand respect. And the very first phone call I had with him, he didn't know anything about me. And his answer to everything that I asked him was, yes, ma'am. And that spoke volumes to me because I'm like, if anything else, that speaks to just a level of just mutual respect in military. He didn't know much about me. So I very much like that. And he learned throughout the ranks of what it meant to actually get into mortgage. So he came to me about 2 years ago and said, I think I want to get licensed and try to do this with you instead
Perfect.
of, the processor is very equivalent to a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
They are vital when it comes to mortgage, just like they
Mhm.
are in real estate. But he pivoted away from processing and really partnering with me to help me make decisions and find good solutions for the leads and the clients that we have coming in.
I love
So
it.
that really worked.
So you and David are front of house.
Yep.
You have a new processor since
Yep.
he's now front of house. You have
Yep.
Becca.
She's not new to processing by any means.
But
She's
at least 2 years.
new to me
Yeah.
about 2 years ago.
Yep.
We aligned completely. Yeah. So we had all been with a previous company who will remain nameless, and she was a processor for them and then aligned and started working just wholly with my team and all of my files. And some of them are a little bit clunky, and I'm sorry, Becca. But most of them, for the most part, we put together really clean loan packages, and that really makes a processor's job easier. So she
Perfect.
really liked that.
And then kind of behind the scenes is Tyler doing underwriting.
Yes.
Probably if we had to compare it to a little more of the broker compliance, MCA,
Yeah.
not a lot of consumer front, but very much behind
Yeah.
the scenes. And
He
sure
does have his own mortgage business where he partners with agents. He has a good little handful of agents here in Brevard County, and
Okay.
he originates his own loans, but he knows guidelines and can solve problems. You're going to have to edit this part out, but we call him our honey dick on the team because he knows how to sweet talk anyone into seeing things. And that's really what mortgage is about. Guidelines are very black and white. It's just a set of instructions. It's all about how you interpret it. So he is very, very good at explaining it in a different manner to where underwriters will all of a sudden interpret it the way that he's interpreting it versus just like the black and white, stale, boring way that they've interpreted it. So
in
he
the shift
is
book, they call it a little bit of bulletproofing the transaction.
Mhm.
How do we keep things together that otherwise would have died?
Yes.
So he keep
Yes.
it going. And
Yes.
okay, so now let's talk about future. Your alignment with our office,
Yeah.
with our company, with our culture. It was very intentional.
Mhm.
Keller Williams is where you started.
Yes.
You've been learning based, focus based, culture based. Tell us about how our values are in alignment and what you see this partnership.
One of the things that KW taught me when I was an agent with them out in Phoenix years ago was that you love on the people that love your business. I don't know if that's like a KW core training or if that was more the leadership that I had out there, which were great. But that's something, and I think that's partly why my team has stayed with me for the years that they have been, because I prioritize loving on them and making their life easier. We also have a job to do, but like if they're working at 9 o'clock at night, my laptop's open. And that's just one of the core values that Keller Williams really instilled in me, is that like you never allow everyone else to take control of your business and your career. You really make it what you want to make it. So being able to align with Keller Williams, like I have all of those teachings. I have, I went through Bold, oh my gosh, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, before they rewrote it. I've helped sponsor Bold, so I've gotten to sit in and see the new material.
Yep.
And just the level of, I think Keller Williams runs with a level of excellence, and that's really how I try to run my business. I say, and I know we're not supposed to say the word try, but I do.
Very bold of you. Good job.
I very intentionally attempt to run my business with structure and intentions throughout the day. And that's something that I, the bare minimum, know that Keller Williams is instilling in their agents. Whether we are successful on it every single day, like that's why we get chances every single wake up. But I really align with the fact that you guys are very in tune with teaching everyone how to get better, even if it's 1% a day.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm excited to finally be a part
be a part of. Let's do some rapid fire questions just to do a final shot to
Go
get
for
to know
it.
you. She's not prepared for this at all.
No, I'm not. Here we go.
Give me the best of some books that really stood out and impacted her.
Mr. Schmooze.
What is that?
Mr. Schmooze is a book all about elevating the experience and loving on people where they don't expect it. So he's an entrepreneur. He's a business coach. Could not tell you where he was based out of the story. I want to say Dallas, but I'm probably wrong on that. But he starts with just telling stories of how he elevates the experience for everyone, and he gets to know everyone that impacts his business on a personal level. He starts off the book with telling a story about how he goes into the Ritz for a breakfast meeting. Because he's gone there so often, he knows the one waitress. He knows all about her kids. He walks in and he has a basketball ticket for a game for her son because he heard this waitress over the course of a couple months talking about how this was something that her son wanted. Now, granted, he does have a lot of financials behind him.
Mm-hmm.
One of my love languages that I've learned about myself is gift giving. Okay. So I love loving on people, but I love doing it anonymously. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna, take selfies and look at me. Sure. I don't jive with that.
Sure.
Mr. Schmooze is the same way. It's a book that I probably read twice a year. He hosts a dinner for all of his colleagues, and while they're sitting there in dinner, he has a mobile detail company come in and clean one of their cars. Not even expecting anything, just loving on them, making sure that they know how appreciated they are. That is the book that speaks to people.
You said it quick, so there's no thinking there. Okay, no. Maybe a little bit less purposeful or intentional, but maybe not. How about movie? If you had to watch a movie just all weekend 17 times, which one would you watch?
Top Gun.
Original or the remake?
Remake, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not even because it's a military thing, whatever. There's a running joke between Air Force and Navy that we won't get into. Air Force is better, by the way. Okay. But it's the never giving up and working despite when all the odds are stacked against you. That's something that I've experienced several times in my career when, everyone is expecting you to fail and expecting things to just fall over. So when you watch that movie, it just motivates you to get up there and do it despite what other people are thinking or what the odds are that are stacked up against you.
Okay, to round out the perfect day, you watched Top Gun Maverick, you read Mr. Schmooze, now you're eating your favorite meal.
Gosh.
You had to think about this one.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man.
Probably done filtering. Fire. Favorite food?
Chili's triple dipper.
You went to a Chili's
Absolutely. I want those mozzarella sticks. And yep, I want all of the junk food. I will work out on it later or take a walk or take Ozempic or something. But yeah, I will go for some junky Chili's triple dipper any day.
All right. What sports team do you root for?
Oh, gosh. This is not even a me. My daughter is obnoxiously obsessed with the University of Alabama. She is 13 years old and has a goal to cheer on their all-girls cheer team when she is older. So she has fallen infatuately in love with the university as a whole, strictly because of this cheer team that she so desperately wants to be on. And so University of Alabama is on our house all the time.
Okay.
We're more college than we are professional.
That's why I kept it to sports, not pro teams. Yeah. Any sport, any level.
Ohio State is another one that college football is really where it's at in my house. That's a total jive.
If I didn't know better and you just said Alabama and Ohio State, I'd call you a front runner bandwagon. So maybe you need a little bit of an underdog.
Yeah, my whole family is from Ohio. So I've grown up watching Ohio State. Okay. That was something that I always had to do, even when they sucked. But yeah, Ohio State, my husband's from New England, so there's never a day. Sports are huge in my house, just competitive by nature. Yep. There's never a day where Boston Celtics aren't on the TV or the Patriots or some of those pro teams. But I think because two of my kids are entering into that college phase of life that I am like gung-ho for all their college stuff. Yeah.
Great stuff. Cassidy, Elizabeth, thanks for jumping on.
They do it all the time.
Yep, I just looked down, but there it is. Thanks for joining us. Excited for what 2026 and beyond brings us. Awesome. And if you don't know who she is, hopefully spoke to you, you need to get to know her because she is going to be a great partner and asset, not only for the office, individual businesses. And if you're not part of Keller Williams right now, partners like this, reach out to me. Maybe we should be in partnership. Well, together everybody achieves more. Win-win or no deal.
Yep,
Thanks
absolutely.
So much.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks, guys.